Hi beauties, thank you for coming to my rubber stamping basic techniques. Today I'm going to show you embossing, and I'm just going to show you my Hello Life stamp set here, and wanted to let you know that I'm going to be giving this away on September 30th, and all you have to do is visit www.jeanpiersanti.stampinup.net, enter the hostess code MGN DTBBY, and you can order anything at all, even if it's just one sponge, maybe the embossing buddy, which I'm going to show you today, but anything, and you will be entered into a chance to win this great stamp set. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just show you, this is how I keep my embossing powders. Very just, it's a Ziploc. And I keep all my embossing powders in here, and anything else that I might be using on my heat and stick powder, which will be shown at a later date. Then let's show you some of the basics here. I did get out just my white embossing powder, and just to show you, I've got out just a real red piece of cardstock here, and then I got on my E-block, because they do tell you what type of blocks you're going to be needing. So I'm going to be doing this stamp set here, do more of what makes you happy. So I took out that stamp, put it here on my E-block, and I'm going to take my embossing buddy out. And all this is going to do is just going to put a very light piece of powder here. And let me move this out of the way. And this is going to make it so that we don't have any static, get rid of some of the oils that might be causing some of that embossing powder to stick. So I've gone ahead and done that. Now the next thing you'll want is a Versamark watermark stamp pad. It is clear, it's very wet, very juicy, and it will stay wet for a while. I also like to have just a paintbrush in case the embossing buddy does have a little bit of powder left on it. I can just take that and wipe it off before I heat emboss it. Next thing you're going to want is some type of heat or heat gun, and of course you can always buy the Stampin' Up. Now different people do different things. We're not going to put the embossing powder right on here. We want to have something that catches it. So in the past I've used this tray. It catches it, and then you can just, it's not very good here, you just close, put the bottle right under it, and it goes right back in there. I've also seen people who take regular paper, copy paper, fold it in half, and then just kind of, once it's folded in half, put it back in like that. I've also seen, and what I've liked to use recently is just plain old coffee filters. So, and that's what I'll show you today, is how I use the coffee filters. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to open this up, set that off, and get out my piece of real red, get out my embossing Versamark, and we're going to first just ink this guy up really nice and wet. Make sure I'm getting it all over here. I'm going to move this off to the side because I don't want any embossing powder to get on that, so make sure you close it right back up. So we'll get that. I'm just going to stick it right in the middle here. Push down. And there you go. It is now wet there. So I'm going to take my coffee filter. Oh, I've also seen some people use these type of Ziploc tubs, the smaller short ones, and they just put all their embossing powder in there and a spoon, and then they just spoon it on there, and it always goes right back in there. But for this one, I'm just going to take this. Don't worry about how much is on there. If you just have a little bit, just roll it around. If you have a lot, just dump it in there. And then give it a flick. And you'll see, let's see, I'm going to move this out of the way now. And you will see that I have a little bit there. So I'm just going to, with my brush, get that out of the way. Clean it up, anything I don't want there. Now we're ready. Make sure you put a lid back on your embossing powder. So before I emboss this, I'm going to show you how I get my embossing powder back in there. All of that embossing powder is still in this coffee filter. So you just grab it and pour it right back in there, and it goes right back in perfectly. Now you just throw the coffee filter away, put the lid back on, because you do not, for two reasons, you do not want to turn your heat tool on and have powder spraying everywhere. You also don't want to heat the embossing powder that's in here and make it melt. So I'm going to set that back away in my tub here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. It might be a little noisy. And I'm going to grab my piece of paper. So now that it is heat, it's a little hot there. Just going to grab that and put that heat right on there, and you'll start to see that color change. And you'll see that white really start to shine. Isn't that cool? And once that's all done, you don't want to overheat it. Once it's all done, you just turn off your heating tool and you're good to go. That's ready to be put on a card. It's raised. It's got this nice little white and embossed look and touch. Alrighty, that is my stamping technique today. I hope you visit me at www.BeautyandtheStamper.com. You can also order from there. It'll take you right to my website, jeanpersani.stampinup.net. And don't forget, September 30th, whatever you buy, make sure you put in this code MGNDTBBY. All right, beauties, have a great day, and thank you so much. Bye.